Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedum, estes nostra salve.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus departed from there and came to his native place, accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were astonished. They said, "Where did this man get all of this? What kind of wisdom has been given him? What mighty deeds are wrought by his hands? Is he not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and the brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon? Are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. Jesus said to him, "A prophet is not without honor except in his native place, and among his own kin, in his own house." He was not able to perform any mighty deeds there, apart from curing a few sick people by laying his hands on them. He was amazed at their lack of faith. The Gospel of the Lord.
In 1549, St. Paul Miki and companions were martyred for their faith in Japan. The Japanese had hoped to discourage them, but the faith kept growing and growing. And so they kept persecuting them and even went after the priests. So finally, in 1638, they decided to close Japan to all Westerners, all foreigners. 250 years later, when Japan finally allowed Westerners to come back in, they found an incredible miracle. For over 250 years, there was no presence of missionaries in Japan, but they found that there was a group of faithful Japanese Catholics that had passed on their faith even without having priests. They would baptize them. They were all hidden because they were afraid of persecution. Pope Pius IX was so amazed by this, hearing this, that he called it the miracle of the Orient, that the faith had survived for over 250 years. And when they arrived, they didn't know a lot about their faith, but they knew some of the basics about baptism, the Trinity, their prayers, the Our Father, and they kept praying for the black robes, what they called the priests. They kept praying for the black robes to return again to Japan. It's amazing that after 250 years, their faith would still be very strong, even though they had to hide. And in the gospel today, we have Jesus' neighbors, the people that Jesus grew up with, who saw his family every day. And they hear all these great miracles and wonders, healings, miracles that Jesus is doing, and yet they can't see past the young man they knew in Nazareth. And Jesus is amazed that they have no faith. I imagine he must have been very amazed at the faith of the Japanese people. My brothers and sisters, we're given so much. We're given so much about our faith. Those who can come to daily Mass, to hear the Word of God, to receive Jesus, his true holy presence every day. And yet at times our faith can be waiting. It can be very light. Let us today, as we look at these martyrs, these holy men and women, this priest, Paul Miki, let's ask for their prayers to inspire in us, for our hearts to become more on fire with greater faith. We've given everything we need, all the graces we need to live holy lives. As we receive Jesus today in his true holy presence, may we allow him to take over our hearts and our minds.
Regina Celi, laetare